Hello, folks. Okay, as usual, I'm going to read to you the last 7 daily inspirations, and then you guys can go ahead and choose one of the titles of the last 7, and then we'll go from there. Okay, the December 30th was from reacting with peace to co-creating peace. December 31 is every moment allows us to begin anew. And I have to scroll up. January 1st, this year, it is you who becomes the hero of your journey. January 2nd, our journey's purpose resides within us now. January 3rd, dissolving worry with trust. January 4th, aligning with your highest will. And January 5th, the real protagonist of your story. Any of those you'd like to start with?
I like dissolving worry with trust.
Okay, let's begin there. This is the January 3rd daily inspirational message. Dissolving worry with trust is the condensed version. It's 2 paragraphs long. And here we go. Paragraph 1. Today, let us decide to stop feeding the delusional dragon of worry. This dragon only exists because of our belief that the ego's fairy tales are real. As convoluted as the ego's fairy tales may be, truth is always simpler than the ego tries to make it. There is one thing that dissolves illusion, and that is truth. There is one thing that dissolves worry, and that is trust. Trust the divine completely, and your worries will be gone. Trust the divine partially, and you will have partial peace. The ego may have taught us that there are thousands of reasons why we worry, but in truth, there is only one. We lack trust in the plan that we have co-designed with the divine. We have forgotten this, but it's now time to remember. Paragraph 2. Today, recall that in every moment you have 2 choices: to trust the divine or to worry. In every moment, free will offers you the choice between light and darkness, between illusion and the truth. The choice you make will be the one that you value most, and thus the one that you will experience. If you find yourself in darkness, do not despair. Simply recall that the light is always just a simple choice away. Choose the light and you will experience peace and clarity. Choose the darkness and worry and confusion will result. Remember that peace and clarity, as well as worry and confusion, do not result from what is happening in the world. They result from who you choose to trust as your guide, God or the ego. Rejoice, for in any moment, the power to choose trust over worry and thus peace over pain is yours and yours alone. And so the idea behind this daily inspiration is, okay, the ego's going to have you think, I see. The ego's going to have you think that there's dozens and dozens of reasons why you worry, okay? But in truth, there's only one reason why you worry. And that is because you lack trust in the divine plan you have co-designed with God. And so anytime the ego has control of your mind and thinking, and you start to worry, or you start to fear or become anxious, make a conscious decision to remind yourself, okay, no matter how complicated the ego story is, and no matter how much I believe that this is true, I'm always one simple choice away from peace. And what gets me to that choice is my choice to trust in the plan that I've co-created with God, with perfection. So if you co-created your journey with perfection, your journey, no matter what the ego says, has to be perfect for you. And so each and every moment that you're offered by the universe is here to help you grow, heal, and awaken. And so just note that when you're unconsciously choosing worry, anxiousness, fear, doubt, what is happening? The ego has taken control over your mind, over your thoughts. And that's why you experience those emotions. Your past programming has taken control over the holy instant, the present moment. And so you bring your past programmings into the now, and that covers over the holy instant, the now. But what happens if you uncover this? You 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 come into the holy instant where only the peace and joy of God reside, and then you experience that peace and joy, and you know that indeed you can leave all the ego's little games and fairy tales and fantasies aside. You can put them aside and have peace, no matter what the ego says. Okay, any comments or questions on trust?
I do. I do. It just took me a minute to unmute. Um, so I love how this all sounds. I need uh, the whole thing about like trusting is very difficult for me. It may not be difficult for anybody else. It is difficult for me. Things happen, it's sort of like everybody says it's all for the good. Everything works out the way it should. Everything is meant to be. All of those platitudes fit into this realm for me. And of course, I realize I have a choice when I say, but look around, look what's happening. This does not feel like it's the best outcome, you know what I mean? And get upset. And I realize I have an option to tell myself this is the way it should be, that I have to accept whatever I'm looking at may look one way to me, but there's a bigger picture kind of thing. But you kind of have to get to that belief system, like to believe it, like you can't just tell yourself, I'm going to believe this. Not, I can't just say, I'm going to believe this. And so I need some kind of bridge to get me in that direction, because trusting in the divine will, trusting in the divine design, trusting in it sounds very beautiful to me, but I'm not going to say I trust it. You know, I'm moved in that direction, but my friend just died. You know what I mean? Like things happen, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't feel so divine. Maybe it was a bigger plan, and I'm too, I'm just a human being. I don't know the big picture, but it's hard to reckon with problematic things happening in life and just saying, well, this is the way it's meant to be. I can definitely see I can choose peace instead of this in those difficult times, because I can say, I don't have to let myself, just like today was a crazy, crazy day, nonstop. A year ago, I would have been in a puddle of anxiety on the floor, but the things came up. I dealt with them. I told myself it's going to be all right. You just have to take one thing at a time, calm myself down. But this whole thing, I need some kind of bridge to get from whatever it is I am right now to I trust. How do you, what practice makes you feel that trust?
Okay, the bridge I would recommend is the past. Okay, a lot of times in the past, we've dealt with worry, with anxiousness, with fear and doubt. Okay, but over and over again, we got to a place where we overcame that, a place where we saw this experience that the ego would define as negative or bad. And in some way, shape, or form, we learned to use that to for some good and for some healing, for a greater sense of wisdom and knowledge. And so we use all this past experience that the ego defines as bad to achieve greater wisdom and understanding. And so if what once caused anxiousness and fear and doubt and worry, if this helped us see that we can't get through it because we're now here, right? We're now here, and we've become, because of our past experience, we've become a little more peaceful, a little more understanding that things in the end do work out for good. And so all you have to do is look at your past experience and see how all those times you were really involved in it, in that fear, you were able to get through it. And because you were able to get through it, you get to a greater place of peace. And now the same stuff that once affected you so much, same kind of situation can happen now, but now it affects you a little bit less. But why? Because you went through this in the first place and you got through it and you overcame it and you got to a higher place of consciousness and peace. And so if you got through all that stuff in the past and you got lessons and wisdom and understanding and knowledge and became more compassionate and more peaceful and more joyful because of all that you went through, then you can start to realize how when I have fear now, when I'm feeling doubt or anxiousness now, I can look at my past and see, okay, in the end, I used that for good. I used it to become a wiser person, a better human being. So if I did that from the past to the now, why can't I do this now? Just trust in the divine design. Okay, I see how I went in the past to the now. So obviously, it should be the same thing from the now to the future, right? And so, and so that's how you begin to see how the universe uses all for good. And if all that stuff that the ego calls bad or negative or whatever is useful, then you have to ask yourself, was it really negative or bad in the first place? If it made me this more wiser, compassionate person. And so when you start to understand that little bridge from the past to the now, you can have a lot more peace in the now, because fear, anxiousness, doubt, that's all about future stuff. You're worried about the future. No. Place it in God's hands and see how much more peace you have. And so hopefully that can be a bridge for you to start to understand how much God indeed has your back.
Thank you, James.
Yes. Any other comments or questions? Hello, Samir and Sue.
Hi, James. I just wanted to add that meditations really do help a lot. And, there is a particular meditation that's called Central Magnet by Joe Dispenza, where, halfway through the meditation, you experience almost like God consciousness or God experience, whatever form of God you have. And all these things you're saying to Wendy and us, we can intellectualize it, but it's hard to internalize it. But when you do these deep processes, this exact same thing that you're saying can be internalized, and you can actually feel what these things. Um, and your threshold becomes higher and higher. So that's a really excellent tool, and I posted them on the chat when you will to access those meditations.
Okay. Okay. One thing you want to know or remember, let's say, is okay, love created me, right? Created all of us, right? And so our true essence has to be that love, right? So anytime our minds are attached to anxiousness, fear, doubt, worry, we're not being who we truly are. So what does that say? It says that the ego is in control of your thoughts. Your past programming is in control of your thoughts. Okay? If your past programming is in control of your thoughts, you're never going to feel balance or at peace in the now because you're living in the past. And so when those thoughts come to you, you can buy them as real, this anxiousness, this fear, this doubt as real. And what happens? It becomes a bigger and bigger part of your day and even bigger part of your life. Why? Why does that happen? Because you invested your time, your focus, your energy on the darkness, on the delusion, on the fairy tale. What happens when you read a child a fairy tale over and over again? They start to believe it. Okay? So you started to believe that anxiousness, fear, doubt, and worry are somehow greater than God. I mean, the silliness of that thought. Okay? The silliness of not of saying, I will invest my time, focus, and energy on the darkness and expect light, expect peace. It ain't gonna happen.
What about this argument that therapists make, or that you're reacting this way because you have some past trauma that you haven't resolved yet, and you need to go revisit your past and resolve those things? Are those could those be washed away with uh, connecting with God, basically?
Yes, yeah. Okay, now there's nothing wrong with psychotherapy, okay? That's fine. That's perfectly fine if you think you need it, and it can be useful. It can be useful. But this is a thing, okay? There's truth and there's illusion, okay? There's God and there's the ego, okay? That's all you need to know. This is true. This is false. This is light. This is darkness. If I focus on darkness, I never get the result that I want. I never get peace. I never get joy. If I focus on the light within me, if I focus on trusting God more each and every day, what happens? I start getting closer to peace, joy, a sense of fulfillment. And so when a thought of worry comes to mind, don't punish yourself for that, or anxiousness or fear or doubt. Don't punish yourself for that. That's what the ego wants. The ego wants you to, okay, the ego wants you to worry, to doubt, to fear, because all those are ego tools, right? So the ego wants you to use its tools. Why does it want you to use its tools? Because if you don't, the ego begins to dissolve away from your experience. And so the ego begins to die, and the ego doesn't want to die. And so all you have to do is, okay, I'm experiencing worry, doubt, fear, anxiousness right now. Okay, how can I use this moment to help me grow, heal, and awaken? Let me, instead of putting my time, focus, and energy on something on the dead end road, let me use this moment right now and place it all in God's hands and feel the weight of this CRAP in God's hands, and visualize it. All your anxiousness and fear and doubt, all those thoughts dissolving in God's light. Okay, so each and every time those delusional thoughts come into your mind, those programmed thoughts come into your mind, don't dive deeper into the darkness. Instead, use them. Use them as a trigger to help you practice trusting God more. Imagine what would happen if each and every time anxiousness, fear, worry, or doubt came to your mind and you used it to practice trusting God more. What would happen? What would happen? You will start to feel like, you know what? Oh my God. When I place this stuff in God's hands, I get a greater level of peace. And so I am worthy of peace. You start to realize and remember, oh my God, I'm truly worthy of peace. And anytime those delusional thoughts come, I can just offer them to God. Place them in His hands. Let it dissolve in His light. Because why? And God appreciates that, actually. God wants you to give Him your fear, your doubt, your shame, your guilt, your worry, your anxiousness. God wants that. Why does He want that? It's because He created you to be the light of the world. And if you're holding on to that, again, CRAP, you're blocking your light. You're dimming your light. So you're not being who God created you to be. And if you're not being who God created you to be in each moment and each interaction, then you will never feel fulfilled or true joy or true peace, because you're not doing what you were created to do. You were created to be the light of the world in each moment and interaction. That's why you're here. God will place you into interactions where you're most needed. You're most needed there to be a light, to guide others from judgment to forgiveness, from anger to peace, from hopelessness to hope. That's your job in each and every moment, from worry to trust. Guide others to a place of trust by showing them how little you believe in the ego's delusions. Any other comments or questions?
James,
Yes.
so when that is like a tool when we feel triggered for a trauma or for any bad feeling, that's the tool that immediately we can just have a short pray and ask God, keep me in peace and take this feeling because I can control it. It's kind of like so we can do something instant, like a pray instant.
Yeah. Let those delusional thoughts become a trigger for you to practice trusting God more. See them as an invitation from the universe, inviting you to trust God more. So now worry, anxiousness, fear, doubt, shame, guilt, they all become, if you use them that way, if you use those thoughts to triggering you the decision to say to yourself, no, I want to trust God. I'm going to place this in God's hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want to use them for. And if you use them for that, then all those emotions become an ally in your awakening process. So now all those thoughts that the ego used to put you down for, or put your brothers or sisters down for, all those thoughts that sunk you deeper into the darkness because the ego was in control of your mind. Now, because you use them to trust God more, they become your ally in your awakening process. And so, yes, do that for sure.
Great. And what about if you can feel peace immediately? That you still feel triggered about any kind of bad feeling?
If it doesn't happen immediately,
Yeah, like you can really feel peace for immediately, like in the moment. So how can we can get over like so because sometimes I feel I can control my angry or fear or like feelings of rejection, but I keep thinking about that for different moments, days. So I can ask for, I can feel peace quickly. So that's my question.
yeah, don't judge yourself for the time you spend in the delusion. Don't judge yourself for that. Just don't use time to judge yourself. You're going to do the best you can in each and every moment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fine.
Time to judge myself. Okay.
It's fine whatever time it takes you. But just keep on practicing, getting there sooner and sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Recognizing when you're out of alignment sooner and sooner.
Yeah, because sometimes when I don't feel that I can get over quickly, I feel there's something I'm doing wrong. Like, why I still feeling this? Because I want to feel like instant gratification. So like, feel quickly, get over all every feeling.
Yeah, that's a trick of the ego. It has you invest the time in judging yourself. So don't use time for that. Just do the best you can, and whatever time it takes, and it's perfect for you. Each one of our journeys is perfect for us, and so whatever time it takes for you to get to a place of peace, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
correct. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes. Any other comments or questions? Anybody trying to dissolve worry from their lives, or have an example of when they were able to let go of the ego's thought, mindset, and start to shift into alignment with the mind of God?
Well, I have a small example, I guess.
Thank you.
Well, because it's just happening now. Like I said, I have something to compare it to because I know how I normally react when things are, going wrong. And I usually have an anxiety, cascade if it's something that's happening at work that's going to be really problematic. And today, one of my classrooms, this has happened to me before. The classroom isn't right for how I teach, and the board isn't right, and I have to have a different kind of board, but they're all full. And what am I going to do? And the students aren't going to fit, and we can't find a new room, and blah blah blah. And it's a big pain. I had to follow my chair around the campus trying to look for a new space. But I really was just like, in my mind, I was saying it's going to work out one way or the other. Like you'll figure out how to do this with the students. That was one. The second one, a little less calm about it, because I have revised a virtual course that went college wide today across 8 campuses, and I'm already getting email from professors about glitches. And that I spent the time that I haven't worked this hard since graduate school on a project. I mean, I did it all summer. I did it night and day. I did it, I tried to do everything to make this rollout clean, and it's not clean. And and I do have anxiety about it, because I'm like, oh my God, what if I get an avalanche of email, from professors who are having problems with the course? And there is an instructional designer who takes care of the technical stuff, but my name's on there. They're all gonna, you know what I mean? My name is listed as the person who created the course. It's all gonna come to me. So the fact that it's the first day and I already have 2 professors reaching out is I wanted this course to be great, and but it's a brand new thing. There are going to be glitches. So this is what I tell myself. It's brand new. You did everything you could. There are going to be glitches. They will have to be addressed. If somebody writes you, you let them know. It may be a little bit glitchy in the beginning, but it's all going to be worked out. Thank you for getting in touch with me. And so even though I do feel some anxiety, it is not compared to what I've felt in the past. It's minute. It's like a snack versus a buffet. You know what I mean? It's a snack-sized anxiety. So I would say, and I attribute it all to the Course in Miracles. I really do. That my anxiety has been in abeyance for this long. That it doesn't, just hijack me and take over. Because bodily speaking, when anxiety comes, you know what I mean? Like, it can really, if you suffer from severe anxiety, it can just cripple you sometimes. So it's a massive improvement. It's a massive improvement. That would be my example.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that's those kind of courses, that's going to happen in every new course. Everybody always has something to say about it, and that's okay. You did the best you could, and things are gonna settle at the perfect pace. So whenever those other professors come with comments, take the comments, and see if they have a point or not, and and that would that would make them feel better that you actually heard them. And yeah, now you don't have to panic because people might disagree with a point or say something negative about your course. Now you can say, okay, it is what it is. I'm here. I did very good job, and now I'll just tweak it. And so yeah, that's good. Those little examples where you can get overwhelmed by worry or fear, but now you're starting to realize, somebody much wiser than me is in control. Everything's going to be all right. Let me just come down. Let me just, okay, this is what is thrown my way. Fine. If you ever watch baseball, the pitcher has a fastball and a curveball, right? If you wait on the curveball, you can hit it. And so all you have to do is allow what is to be. Practice allowing what is to be. And practice having peace and more faith in what is to be. Because when you have faith in what is to be, the result is peace. And what is to be is what God created for us. And so God and us have co-designed this journey, each one unique, right? But if you trust that whatever is happening is happening for your good, to help you grow, heal, and awaken in some way, shape, or form, then you have peace. If you try to go against the current, against what is happening, if you try to judge or condemn what's happening, then that's where you have confusion, conflict, and chaos. And so those are your two choices. Go with the flow, trust the divine, have peace. Go against the flow, trust the ego's tools, and have conflict and chaos. So your choices are really that simple. Trust or worry. Peace or pain. The one that you need most in the moment is the one you're going to choose. But you can always choose peace. You can always choose to trust God and see how that works out. And you can tell me how that works out instead of trusting your worries and fears. So yeah, those are another bridge to seeing how God is going to use us all for good. It's another bridge to show you, hey, even in this situation, I can have peace. I can choose peace instead of worry. Lesson in the Course in Miracles, I can have peace instead of this. And so that's good. All those examples are good. And all those examples make you feel like you can trust God more, make you feel like you can trust in the journey that you have co-created with God more. So all those little examples help build your understanding that God does indeed have your back. Comments or questions? In paragraph 2, it says, recall that in every moment you have two choices, to trust or to worry. And so try to simplify your life, okay? In each moment, am I trusting or am I worrying? If you're trusting, that means your mind is aligned with the mind of God. If you're worrying, that means your mind is out of alignment with the mind of God. But you belong here, not here. But the way from here to here is not complicated. Forgive your misperceptions. Trust God. Be at peace. Trust God partially, and you will have what? Partial peace. Trust God fully, and you will have what? Full peace. And so you start to see that my peace of mind is correlated to my trust in God. Do I have a little bit of anxiousness? That means I'm not fully trusting God. And so practice trusting God instead of your anxiousness and see where that gets you. It'll get you to the state of peace for sure. And you know, this stuff here, going from here to here, from here to here, it's okay. Because the more times you're out of alignment, when you practice consciously bringing yourself back into alignment, the more you get to practice this, the less time you'll spend here out of alignment. But it was only because you spent time out of alignment that you're now in alignment. So now you can thank all those times that you were out of alignment, because they just helped you come quicker and quicker to the state of peace. And so now you can use all that stuff for good and make them your allies. Any comments or questions? Or anybody dealing with anxiousness, fear, doubt, worry? And they find one.
I am.
Okay.
I deal sometimes with worry. I deal sometimes with anxiety. And yes, I trust. Depending on the focus of attention giving, let's say at work, one of the things that worries me, the changes that's going to come, and high cost of living that's going to go up in many ways, as deportation is going to be massive. The many people that's going to be helping us, it was helping us, in cleaning, with, I don't know, the harvesting and our food products, and a lot of help in construction, painting, and all those things, all those prices are going to go up. The cost of living is going to go up eventually. And so my personnel will still get paid the same. We will still get paid the same as paid insurances, and less of the chances for many of us to access the same level, So a little bit of worry right there. And people become creative. One way or another, we become creative on what else to do and what other sources of income, etc. So taking it calmly is one of the choices. Take it easy, because now nothing is happening. Now all is good. Everything is under control. So I think that's a call for us to just build more trust. I don't know. It's going to be a way that we will not be affected in a way that people think it's going to be affected, right? So it's one of the things. Another that I see, I get anxious in situations where it's uncertainty, and I already had experiences that were not that nice, that not that pleasant, and I still had to go through. I seen that this past Sunday, I had a situation, and other times I could have avoided. I have resisted it not to go to that same place and have the talk, which is sometimes uncomfortable. But this time I went, knowing that's going to be like that, but trusting that love at the end is it's the strongest thing, and it's real, and it's we all change, we all get stronger, and situations that were aggravating, that were triggering in the past, now it's less. It is less, and may still continue happening, but we will get over it easier, faster than before. It's not that we're expecting a quick gratification or quicker change. It's just it goes by itself, because as we grow in strength, in faith, I think that our capacity to love, our capacity to tolerate things, our capacity to bring peace by itself, I guess, it becomes more natural. And I attain all of this, of course, because of the Course of Miracles, because of these classes, and my love for this course, my love for the love that we all give and receive, and we are. So that keeps growing, and it's nice. And that is one of the sources that if I need to go, I go to love. I go to peace, but I go to love because it's more inspiring. It's stronger. It's nice. It's sweet. So I wanted to share that.
Yeah. And so, yes, in any moment, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, right? Now we can go into the future, making the conscious decision to make peace our companion by trying to ask peace, what would peace do now, right now? What would peace think right now? And so the more you practice consciously making peace your constant companion, the more you remember and recall that you're worthy of peace. And so the less you will worry about what happens in the future. Because imagine you here in the present moment, in alignment with a state of peace, and then moving to the future. Who are you going to move to the future with? With a state of peace. So you take this state of peace with you. You take the decision to trust God more with you. And so, yes, all those little examples, what are they doing? All those seeming difficulties or future worries, what are they doing? They're helping us practice remembering that we can choose peace instead of focusing on the worry. They're helping us practice remembering that okay, I'm worried right now about the future. Okay, I can choose peace. I can choose peace instead of this. Okay, perfect. Thank you, worry or fear, because all you did was give me another opportunity to practice choosing peace instead. To practice not fueling the delusion with my time, focus, and energy. Because if you fuel the darkness with your time, focus, and energy, this darkness becomes a bigger part of your day in life. The delusion becomes a bigger part of your day in life. No, I can choose peace instead of this. In every moment, practice. Am I at peace right now? Am I making decisions from a place of peace? Or from my past programming? Or my future imagination? My future fears? If you're in the holy instant, that's where you belong. That's your true home. Your true home on earth is the holy instant. And in the holy instant, the state of peace and joy forever reside. And so if you solidify this, you take this wherever you go. So use those times of uncertainty. Use them. But use them for good, like God would. Use them to see that I can choose peace in that. Wow, I actually have control over the thoughts I think. And how do you know when you have control over the thoughts you think? Because the thoughts you think are in alignment with the mind of God, with love. How do you know when you do not have control over the thoughts you think? How do you know when your thoughts are controlling you? When you're out of alignment with the mind of God. When you're trusting fear, anxiousness, worry, and doubt more than God. And so, yeah, that's beautiful. As you, the more you opportunities you get to practice, the greater your faith becomes, right? And so the more solid your foundation becomes, your foundation in God becomes. The more you feel that foundation, the more grateful you become to God for his support. To God because you have free will. Yes. Any comments or questions? On worry, doubt, fear, anxiousness. Remember, you fuel your journey. Okay, you fuel your journey through the thoughts you think, through the time, focus, and energy you put into your thoughts. You fuel it. Are you gonna fuel? Are you gonna fuel the path to darkness and confusion and chaos and doubt and fear? Or are you gonna make a conscious choice to fuel the path to peace, to trust?
So there's no appropriate time for fear or worry?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you're being chased by a tiger, sure. No. I mean, those are the ego uses that to protect you. In some instances, like if you see a dark alley, the ego might say, yeah, don't go by there. But also, God is telling you, hey, maybe you don't want to go by there. And so there's nothing. Don't judge yourself for being out of alignment with the mind of God. Everything is everything. No, remember, God being perfection, he will use all the good and all the bad for good. Okay. And so that fear that will worry that happens in the moment, God is going to use it in some way, shape, or form for good. So if he's going to use it, if you in the back of your mind know that in the end, after all is said and done, God uses all for good. Okay, I went through this little bump of fear. Okay, I went through the bump of fear. But then I remembered, oh, God is going to use this for good. God is going to use this to help me trust him more, to help me trust the universe more, to help me trust the divine design that I've co-created with God more. Thank you, situation of fear. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for the practice. So yeah, that's fine.
How can we tell if God is trying to warn us of something we shouldn't do, or the ego is trying to warn us? How can we tell the difference? Sometimes we're trying to do things that are not in the best interest, in God saying, "Don't do it." How do we know?
Well, we always talk about is what you're feeling aligned with peace or not. Usually, if you get a gentle whisper, that's usually God. If you get some kind of shock, that's usually the ego. But it's a tricky question. But
Kind of like a body sensation, right? It's like a body, when you feel something is right, you feel peace and calm. But when something is not really good, you feel anxious. Like it's the feeling in the body, because we are that energy from God. So when something is not alignment with the energy of God, we can feel it in the body, right?
it's denser, it's heavier, it's darker, and so just trust that God has your back. And so if you get a little sense of, oh, okay, let me slow the car down, or let me not do X or Y, then learn to follow your gut instinct. I'm sorry?
I forgot how you say in English, la conciencia.
You're conscious. You're conscious.
Something like that.
Yeah, you can call it that. Yeah, you're conscious. And yeah. So remember, you have God. You have a choice in every moment of guides, and it's very simple. It's God or it's the ego.
Mm.
Okay. practice choosing God as your guide. And even inviting God, you know what? Today I'm going to focus on achieving more peace during my day. Okay, how do I do that? How do I achieve more peace during my day? Is by becoming proactive. And before every interaction, set the goal. My goal is this interaction, my goal is peace. My goal is to bring peace to this brother or sister. And who is peace? It's God. Peace is a reflection of the light which God is, the energy which God is. And so when you're asking peace, when you're setting the goal of peace for the interaction, you're setting the goal of God for the interaction. You're setting the goal of love for the interaction. And so practice going into the interactions with the goal of peace. And so now your interactions during the day become a way to achieve your goal.
Mm.
And then during the interaction, if the ego starts to whisper, says to worry or doubt or judge or be anxious, okay, wait a second. Anxiousness in this interaction is not my goal.
Oh.
I'm going to stop this thought right now because that's not my goal for this interaction. That's not the goal that I set. I set the goal of peace, not anxiousness. So I'm not going to support anxiousness, period. I'm not going to put my time, my focus, or energy on thoughts of anxiousness. No. My goal is peace. And so during the interaction, if you get a little anxious, no, that's not my goal. My goal is peace. I place my anxiousness and I give it that anxiousness to God. And doing so, let that go and come back to peace, come back to center. And then at the end of the interaction, once it's done, review it. Was I choosing peace during the interaction? Was I choosing thoughts, words, emotions that lead me to peace? Or was I choosing thoughts, words, emotions that lead me to anxiousness? And then be corrected. If you were choosing anxious thoughts, okay, that's fine. It's corrected for the next interaction. And that's how little by little your sense of peace increases and your worry decreases. The more you consciously make a decision to align with the mind of God, which is love, peace. Every time, every interaction you get, and you make it a goal, you make peace your goal, whoop, another interaction, whoop, another interaction, peace goes here, worry goes here. Another interaction, peace goes here, worry goes here. Another interaction, when you make peace your goal, peace goes here, and worry begins to dissolve away. Anxiousness, fear dissolve away. This was a practice. So have grace for yourself. Whichever way you get to a place of peace is perfect, Mike. It's perfect for you. So don't allow time to judge the forward motion of your journey. Course says all time is for healing. That's all time is for. That's all time is for healing. To help us recall who we truly are, the light of the world. We're here to remember the light inside of us, and then become a torch and light the way for others. That's our one and only job in each and every moment and interaction. And when we do so, we have an inner sense of fulfillment, an inner sense of job well done. And not ego job well done, like holy job well done. Okay, in this interaction, I led my brother and sister to peace. Good. Thank you, God. Thank you for helping me lead my brothers and sisters to peace. Thank you. Gratitude. As I always say, end everything with gratitude. Because if your final emotion or expression to any interaction is not gratitude, then you haven't done the full circle, the full sacred circle. It's always gratitude. It's the response to everything in the end. Why? Why gratitude? Because the divine created this journey for you and it's perfect, exactly as it is. You don't have to judge yourself for it. You will get to peace when you get to peace. And when you get to peace, whenever that is, it's perfect. So don't punish yourself for being less than perfect. When your ego says, oh, you're being anxious again. Obviously, you haven't read the course or you haven't done enough reading. That's the ego. Shut it down. Shut it down. You don't need that. That's not what you're here for. You're not here for that CRAP. You're here for this. You're here to consciously align your mind with the mind of God and be the light for others in each and every moment and interaction. That's what you're here for. That's why we choose to trust God. That's why we choose peace over worry. That's why we choose forgiveness over judgment. That's why we choose love over hate. That's why we choose compassion over condemnation. Because that's what we were created to do and be. We were created to be that light. Any final comments or questions before we close?
Taking notes.
I'm sorry, what?
Taking notes, James. Thank you. Tomando nota.
Y tomando nota. Yes, so let's practice that in the next couple of days. Go into your interaction, first of all, knowing that God has your back. Knowing that this interaction is coming up, whatever that is, you and God co-created it. Why? To grow, heal, and awaken, to let go of your delusions, practice letting go of your delusions, so that you can become the light, the brighter light that God created you to be. Peace is my goal for this interaction. During the interaction, am I at peace? Am I being a beacon of peace for others? And after the interaction, did I fulfill my goal as the light of the world in this interaction? Did I lead God's children back to a place of peace? If I did, okay, I did good. All right, my brothers and sisters, anything else before we close?
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Everybody at peace?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much.
All righty.